Hey guys, it's Stephen here. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Things That We Learned after Manchester City's very impressive, very calm, very composed 2-0 victory away at Turf Moor against Sean Dyche's Burnley. It was a very, very satisfying performance, as today I'm going to dissect that in a little bit more detail. But I want to say thank you, as ever, to the wonderful people over at OneFootball. OneFootball is an absolutely awesome app. Absolutely, that's the pun intended there. But anyway, you know about OneFootball by now, but if you haven't downloaded it by now, well, you're definitely missing out. All you've got to do is click the link in the description. It costs absolutely £0, £0, $0. It's a free app and it's genuinely fantastic, and they've been supporting me on this channel now for an awful long time. Go and join over 10 million other people. Get all your Manchester City news, get all your football news from around the world, free, sent straight to your phone. It's where I get all my updates about the game away from Manchester City, broadly speaking. So download it right now. You can see it on screen. It's a beautiful app with all the information that you need personally to your phone. Download it right now. Help support this channel a little bit. It nourish your phone, it nourish your football knowledge, and do yourself a big favour. Also, I'd like to say thank you as well to my latest patron, Andy Davis. Andy Davis, I think he's rejoined, but Andy, you're a hero. Thank you so much for support. Everyone who helps on patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany, or who is a member over at youtube.com/Esteemed Kompany/join. The support is massively appreciated. And don't forget, if you can't get involved that way, I understand entirely, given everyone has different circumstances. Just liking these videos and subscribing and comment is absolutely awesome. Big love to Andy, big love to every single one of you watching this video as well. Let's get on to today's video. I'm going to start initially with a big claim. Okay, Gundogan for Premier League Player of the Year. Is he in the conversation? You're damn right he is. And do we need to be a little bit louder about it? You're damn right we do. Gundogan once again was so beautifully intelligent last night. What a player, man. What a player. We all knew he was good anyway, but I think some people, and myself every now and then, I got to admit, some people felt he could be a little bit ploddy every now and then when he was alongside Rodri. But this explosion of form, this explosion of confidence, and this reinvention, is it fair to say a reinvention actually, given that we knew he had this in his game? But maybe this reinvention of him from his older self, if that makes sense, of Gundogan at the moment, he's genuinely beautiful. He's playing a lot like the Gundogan that made his name over at Borussia Dortmund, and we're seeing a much more attacking emphasis now than this player than we probably ever seen since he signed for Manchester City. He's been very useful over the years, but right now Gundogan is operating on a level which is entirely different to how he's operated before City. I'm not saying he hasn't been effective and very good, and especially in the 18-19 home stretch run where we won all those games in a row, but this is a different Gundogan in terms of confidence, I reckon. We're seeing a Gundogan who's affecting games in his own very intelligent way, and it's not just because of his intelligence, body shifts and all that kind of stuff. It's not because of his understanding of the game, it's because of the numbers now. He's scoring goals regularly. Mr. Whippy is absolutely wonderful. And also last night, his assist, that was pure Kevin De Bruyne. What I loved about that goal, by the way, was I was on, well, this is such a humble brag here, I was on the show last night with Sean Gota on We're Not Really Here, Manchester City's YouTube channel, and Sean made the point saying that was such a Kevin De Bruyne run, and you can tell that the players are obviously so in tune with how Manchester City operate these days, that even when Kevin De Bruyne is not there, someone else will just make that run instead. It happened to be Gundogan this time, and what a beautiful assist for Sterling's goal. Gundogan is currently the most effective midfielder in the Premier League. I know Fernandes is fantastic for United, but when it comes to winning actual titles and controlling games the way Manchester City do, Gundogan is much better. He's very good at getting your stats and all that kind of stuff. Fernandes, he's been excellent for them, but I'm sorry, if you want to control the game in a big game, Gundogan's the man for it at the moment. An absolutely brilliant player. Let's push him towards Player of the Year. It could also be Diaz, by the way, or Stones, whoever, but right now Gundogan is in the form of his Manchester City career, and long may it continue. Unfortunately, slightly more negative thing, unfortunately. The Laporte comments after the game. We've got a bit of a situation potentially here. It's interesting. It was before the game, sorry. He said, at the moment I'm here, I'll play today, we'll see what happens, I'm happy at Manchester City. I always thought I'd spend my years here, I hope that will happen. I will see what happens between now and the end of the season, but for now, I'm happy. Those quotes aren't particularly encouraging. Maybe people will turn around and say he's just being honest there, or maybe people will say it's just lost in translation, but to say, for now, I always thought that, for now I'm happy, I always thought I'd spend many years here, I hope that will happen. Let's see what happens between now and the end of the season. That is a man clearly sending a bit of a barbed message to Guardiola there. You can pretend it isn't, but it is, unfortunately. That is a man saying that I want to be playing regularly, and if I'm not playing regularly by the end of the season, unfortunately, I will probably ask to move on, which is very interesting. Now, Laporte, for what I know, is quite an insular character. He's not the most He's not the warmest character as far as I'm aware. He seems like a nice bloke, but there's been plenty of rumours, and I've heard this myself personally, that he's a little relatively aloof in general in his attitude, and he's got an awful lot of self-confidence. There's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes self-confident people feel like they should be playing every single week, and I get that. I get it, and he's brilliant, Laporte. But those comments were interesting. Now, of course, he played last night. He was fine. At left back, not particularly great, but he was fine. And of course, this isn't a problem to worry about right now. I'm definitely not going to slag him off for being honest or open like that. But it is telling that he came out and said that before the game, in my opinion, because it was a chance for him to say, I'm fine, I'm happy, I love it here. Diaz and Stones are playing fantastic, but he didn't choose that option. He chose to talk about himself and his future and to say you'll see where he is at the end of the season, which to me was relatively telling. The first chance he gets to speak to the press, he chose that relatively nuclear option. I'm not complaining, honestly, I'm really not. But it is something to keep an eye on, see how it develops going forward. I think he'll get another chance to get in the team again. But right now, I did get the sense that he's not fully happy not playing. And that's understandable. He should be happy about not playing. But it is something to keep an eye on. On a more positive note, Bernardo is back. He actually is back. Guardiola said recently that Bernardo's showing all the signs of being back. And I tell you what, once again, Bernardo... Oh, mesmeric. It's funny because he wasn't like sensational or anything like last night, but he was just good. Just good. And at the moment, Bernardo is just being good. Very good or good consistently. And I love that from Bernardo. I love that kind of just like that motoric engine that he's got. Keeps chugging away, running everywhere like a Joe Russell bunny. He really is absolutely alive at the moment in terms of confidence. And there's signs again of where he just kind of jinks past people in the middle of the pitch. And I loved that energy he's got at the moment where he really can glide through the middle. People can't get near him. They can't touch him because he's so wiry and so nimble. At the moment, we're starting to see Bernardo find the Bernardo of the 18-19 season. It feels to me that Bernardo is primed for the kind of game that we saw in that season against Liverpool, where Bernardo was absolutely everywhere in the heart of midfield. I honestly suspect... away at Anfield this time, a team that he does have a little bit of beef with in general. Of course, Liverpool fans give him a hard time on social media, and he's stood there joining the Guard of Honour with his brew in his hand, not paying any attention and tweeting about how Liverpool fans need to go and read a book or something or get off the internet. He's a bit of an edge there, so Bernardo will be massively up for this game. I think in general he's found his confidence, he's found his focus. This is Bernardo at his most tenacious, I wouldn't say he's very best, but close to his very best. And Bernardo at the moment, there's been enough games in a row to suggest that Bernardo, this isn't like a flash in the pan. This is Bernardo as we know and love. And I reckon this could be a big chance for him on Sunday to really stamp home that form. Either way, Bernardo gliding past people, Bernardo being brilliant. You do love to see it. What a player. Next up, Manchester City are absolutely impenetrable. We are rock solid. We are the biggest of walls. Genuinely, we're fantastic at the moment. And listen to these stats, why don't you? 13 Premier League clean sheets this season. 13 wins in a row. 9 Premier League wins in a row. We're 3 points clear at the top of the table with a game in hand, of course, over Man United. And we're 7 points clear of the champions with a game in hand as well. Big love to Brian for last night. And we're the first Premier League side in 19 years to win 13 consecutive matches in all competitions. A genuinely astonishing run that's kind of come out of nowhere, and it's things you genuinely love to see. And the best thing for me about this current winning run is that across this run of 9 straight league wins, we've conceded precisely 1 goal. And you know that goal was 7 games ago against Chelsea, and it was nothing more than an injury time consolation goal for Callum Hudson-Odoi. It genuinely meant nothing that we were comfortable in that game. And basically since then, Ederson has been protected ferociously. It's been a ridiculous defensive wall that's been built in front of our goalkeeper, and it's been so fun to watch. We've kept 6 clean sheets since that Chelsea game against Brighton, Palace, Villa, West Brom, Sheffield United, and now Burnley, of course. And this is the best bit about it. These are the shots on target we conceded in each of those games. 1 shot, 0 shot, 4 shots, 1 shot, 0 shots. That is 7 shots against 6 teams. That's all we conceded. 7 shots on target. And I'm sorry, I know they're not the hardest teams in the world, but they're not nobodies. Brighton literally beat Liverpool last night. Palace have the threats of the likes of, Eze and Zaha and people like that. Villa, they're in great form this season. They're the ones that conceded 4 shots to, by the way, but they are in great form this season. West Brom, the West Brom. Sheffield United beat United, scored 2 there, and Burnley Burnley are always a threat as well when they want to be. Beat Liverpool recently, of course, as well, which is a thing I love saying at the moment, by the way, on this channel. It's nice to say, isn't it? Burnley beating them. Brighton beating them. Oh, it's just good fun. Anyway, we've conceded just 7 shots on target in our last 6 Premier League games, which is just incredible consistency. And when you've got basically a defence that aware and that focused, you've got a wall that solid, that glued together, then it makes it so easy for Manchester City to go and get points in the Premier League because you've got a foundation which is ultra sturdy. And when you've got the likes of Gabriel Jesus, who's currently scoring goals, 3 in his last 3 Premier League games, I think 3 in his last 3 games, by the way. Is it Premier League or overall? I can't remember. You'll remind me. Then you've got Phil Foden scoring goals, Gundogan picking up goals, you've got Mahrez in form, you've got Raheem Sterling last night, played particularly well in my personal opinion. Anyway, you've got the players that we've got, Bernardo as well, and of course Kevin De Bruyne to come back. When you've got this consistency, it's very hard not to pick up points basically, because the defence is that good. It's almost possibly hard for our attackers not to win us games. We've got such a reliable team at the moment, and I can't really see if this carries on anyone else keeping up. Obviously no one will keep it up if we carry on, but we've built ourselves such a good platform now. This Liverpool game gets bigger and bigger, and finally ahead of the Liverpool game we've got a bit of a left back dilemma really, I reckon. I mean, obviously some people have their choices, but who do we play left back? Do we play Cancelo? Do we play Laporte? Do we play Zinchenko? Do we even play Mendy? Now I'll start with the one least likely, of course. Mendy has actually kept 3 clean sheets against Liverpool, and each time relatively marked Salah out of the game. So Mendy actually has a pretty good record against Liverpool, so we can't really ignore that. Having said that, I think the chances of Mendy starting are very, very small, less than 1 in 4. I think he's got very little chance to start this game because he's currently out of form. I think there are better options in front of him. But what I will say is that he does genuinely have a good record against Liverpool. Then, of course, we've got Zinchenko. Zinchenko, for me, currently is in excellent form. He's so crucial, not only to our defence, but to our build-up play going forward. The way he sits alongside Rodri, helping with that double pivot and leaving essentially a back three, depending on where Cancelo is or whatever. Zinchenko is so intelligent at the moment, and that is a genuine option for Guardiola. Laporte, of course, played there last night. I can't really see Laporte starting this game. I don't think we'd play him as a full 90 minutes there to give Klopp any indications that he needs, and why he's a little bit rusty still and giving us especially his comments, I guess, before the game. I can't really see Laporte starting this game, but he's definitely an option, and we've seen Laporte play at the Etihad, admittedly when Laporte was in a bit more form and played a bit more regularly than he has this season, but in that 2-1 victory, Laporte, I'm pretty certain he played left back that day. He was very good there. So Laporte could play there, and of course another option is Cancelo could go over to left back. Now Cancelo at left back, I think it's very possible with Kyle Walker in at right back. But either way, we have got a bit of a dilemma as well. And to be honest, I've phrased this point about left back's dilemma, but we have got a selection dilemma in general going forward. I mean, Sterling I thought played well last night personally. Mahrez is in decent form as well at the moment. Phil Foden is one of our better players, full stop. And Gabriel Jesus has started to score, and Gabriel Jesus was very good, I thought personally, at the Etihad, scoring a very key goal against Liverpool. So we don't really know what he's going to do there in terms of the forward line, but most interestingly from my opinion anyway, is the left back dilemma. Let me know down in the comments what you would personally do there. Thank you for watching this video yet again. You're all absolutely beautiful. Get me to 50k. I am closing in now. It'd be wonderful to get there, but by the end of this month, 50,000 subscribers, it'd be class. Every single one of you is absolutely awesome. Of course, all the patrons currently, so scrolling down the side of the screen. Big love to every single one of you, and obviously my latest patron, Andy Davison. Go and download OneFootball right now. Click it. It's right there. Click it right now. Download it. You're all heroes. Go watch a match reaction from last night. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on all the topics discussed, and I'll see you very soon.